everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. This is going to be a reading for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the period of June the 1st to the 15th. So let's start with the Storyteller Oracle cards to see what the predominant storyline is for Sagittarius for the first half of the month. We are still in the grips of the post-lunar eclipse energy, so things could still be transforming and settling. You could be feeling a little out of sorts. Maybe some new things are coming up for you that are feeling a little unfamiliar. You might even be feeling like you need some extra rest at this time. Okay, any other cards here for Sagittarius? Sun, Moon, and Rising. Oh boy, lots going on for Sag. Okay, let's have a look here and see what the story is for first half of June. Okay, I'll just flip these over. All right, let's get started. Okay, what is the first card here for Sagittarius? The first card, thank you so much. Okay, Sagittarius, this card came up for someone else today as the first card, I believe. You've got the feel card, so that means that you're feeling something on an empathic level. This card refers to you've got a vibe, you've got a feeling. It's not really, there's a different card for intuition. This one is more, you could be picking up on the emotions or intentions around you, okay? Now, I see that something is cycling out. You're finishing off a cycle and you're being asked to transmute any feelings of fear here as you step into this new cycle. We want to, any feelings of anxiety or fear, you're being guided here to transmute that into something of a higher vibration. You're starting to understand how things are connecting, how previous stories in your experience have brought you to where you are today. And it's like you're starting to see things in a way that are it's different, right? It's almost like your perceptions have completely changed, Sag, and you're feeling guided to take stock of your inner riches and the things that your soul craves. Okay, the thing that speaks to inner enrichment, right? This is the inner riches card. So this is abundance. This is feeling that way regardless of the outer world. This is between you, and you feel you're being asked to feel that way. You're not being called. It's almost like you don't want to act just yet. It's almost like you're still in contemplation or healing mode. You could be healing after the end of this cycle. It's not necessarily time to architect something. It could be time to draft the plans, but maybe not to act. We saw the impulse card in reverse there. Now, you are transforming, but the transformation is, it may be challenging you a little bit, Sag. Transformation's not easy, right? It's an experience that changes us irrevocably, and it's tricky. And there's so many levels of transformation. Once you think, oh, I've reached a certain level of understanding myself, then everything cycles out again, and more lessons. So it's almost like you're starting to free yourself from some things, and there could be some unions in your life that you're starting to question. As you become more free, the unions in your life may start to appear differently to you, Sag. You're not afraid though, which I like. You're not afraid of the unfamiliar. You're looking at the unfamiliar in a way that it excites you, but it's still unfamiliar. So there's a part of you that's sort of always wondering what's coming up next. But I'm not sensing fear yet, but you got all these beautiful auspicious cards here. You've got your awakening. You could be going through a spiritual awakening. And again, you got unfamiliar and closed in reverse, which suggests that you're open and you're curious, but you're also like, wow, this is really different. Like, things feel unfamiliar. This doesn't even feel like you right now, right? When you think about it, your intuition is involved here. So you could be feeling a leveling up in your ability to read a situation intuitively, and you are definitely feeling inspired, Sagittarius. And like I said, yeah, you are open to this process. And you're really tapping into your feminine energy. So that creative water energy that just flows. It flows and flows and flows until it's time to draw the lines. And we saw that you had the Architect card in reverse here, which would be the card where you would draw your lines in after you put out all the dots, like the water. I always think of it that way, that the feminine energy is sort of like this scattering of dots on a page, or seeds, if you will. And then the masculine energy comes in to draw the lines between the dots on the sheet, or to plow the seeds in the field so that it's in rows, so that it makes, you know, it forms a structure, a shape. It makes a dimension out of something that is just a creative flow. And it's almost like it's not time for that right now. It's just time for you to scatter your dots, right? You may be trying to control this process, which is fair. You know, it's fair. It's an unfamiliar situation that you're trying to be cautious, because it could trigger some inner childhood wounds here along the way, which maybe that's a place you're at right now. We did see the Heal card. So you could be open to all of this, and maybe that's why some of these cards are in reverse for you. Oh, I think I passed it. Because you're still going through a healing process to sort of get a grip. I'm just looking for that card. There it is. There it is. So you're still healing. Okay, so as you heal and transform, we saw the transformation card in reverse as well. You know, there are going to be things that trigger little alarm bells along the way. Maybe, you know, like I said, there's relationships. And here's another card about relationships. There may be relationships that you have to examine. We saw unity in reverse. So conscious collaboration is where you're going to want to sit through your transformation. It doesn't mean that you have to share this whole thing with the whole world. You share what you want to share with who you choose. And I think you'll find, Sagittarius, that when you're going through a transformation, it's best to keep in solitude in terms of not allowing the external world to influence your process, right? Now, the final card here for your storyteller reading is the Correspondence card. So this is your card of affirmations. What are you telling yourself? What are you telling the universe about your experience? Are you saying, I am afraid, or are you saying, I am open? Are you saying, you know, like, what are your I am statements? This is your Correspondence card. So that's the final message here. It's almost like this card is setting us up to jump into the tarot in a nice way, because it leaves us hanging a little bit to know, well, the card's upright. So that tells me that your correspondence is probably effective and it's not challenging you. So that's really good news. But I'm curious about what shadow element is getting triggered here for you. There could be something that needs to get healed before you go on, right? You need to face something maybe honestly before you move forward. Okay, let's leave these here for reference, and we'll jump into the tarot. Okay, beautiful reading thus far for Sagittarians. Sun, Moon, and Rising for period of June the 1st to the 15th. What? Oh, thank you. Okay, so Sagittarius, my friendos, you have the Seven of Cups as your predominant energy for the present moment. So that suggests that you're examining options. Okay, like I said, you're spreading your dots around and you're deciding, how am I going to connect these dots? Where am I going to put the lines, right? Because you can choose. You're the architect, right? You can choose. So right now you're in a position where you're choosing, and it's emotional. Right there, it's a Cups card. So that means that you're sort of going through the process of choosing here through an emotional pathway to spirit. And it's going to be, it feels like a little bit of a struggle for you here, because it's nice to have options, but then you have to choose. And that means that you know, the others don't get chosen. So there could be a situation where you feel like, you know, the options might overwhelm you. It might be hard to make a choice. You might find it challenging to accept that you have to choose something. Okay, so we'll keep going. What is the challenging aspect here for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising? What is the challenge for them? Thank you. The challenge for you is that a cycle is ending. That makes sense. We saw that in the storyteller cards right at the top right at the tippy top here. Cycle, ending, the end. You got all the features in this card that typically reflect a shift in a cycle, right? So something is cycling out for you. Here's the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is a situation where you're kind of tired and you need to do some self-care. You need to fill up your tank because you're just at the end of a journey. You're cycling out into something new. And that makes sense. This end of the cycle is exhausting you a bit, Sag. You could be kind of, I think I'm getting that feeling like you really need some time to take care of you in solitude, because this end of a cycle is challenging your ability to choose your cup for the future. Okay, the cup you decide will take you down a path, right? So we need physical energy in order to feel, you know what it's like when you're tired physically. It's hard to make a choice when you're tired, right? And so when you expand that into a more a different perspective to think about making a choice about stuff that you want to invest your time and energy in. If you're tired, you might not make a solid decision, right? Okay, so here, top of mind for you, it's challenging for you to accept the truth that those 3 cups in the background have spilled. See these 3? They've spilled. And you're sad about it, okay? There is a truth you have to face honestly before you move forward, okay? This is something where you could be challenged by feelings of regret, by betrayal, by sadness, by remorse. But look, these 2 cups are still good. You still got 2 cups. So this is a time, Sagittarius, this card's in reverse. So that suggests that this experience is challenging you emotionally. So the idea of the 7, which is the card that would suggest that you have to make a choice, you're struggling to make a choice because on your mind is the fact that choosing means you have to walk away from something. There could be a sacrifice that needs to get made, Sagittarius. You may need to sacrifice something. Let's keep going. What can we find out here about what's at the bottom of this? What's at the root? What's at the root of this for Sag? Ooh, a whole bunch of things. But the first thing these fell out, but this is the one that stuck to my hand. It's the 4 of Cups, or the 6 of Cups, excuse me, in reverse. The 6 of Cups in reverse suggests that the way that you're looking at the past is not in a healing way, Sagittarius. When you look at the past, it's like you're challenged to feel like you could rebuild. So no wonder this is top of mind for you. There may have been a loss in the recent past, a perceived loss of maybe something very emotional because of the cups. So you're having a hard time making a choice to go forward because you're feeling all twisted up about the nostalgia, and you're not allowing the past to just be a point of reference. You're kind of living in it and feeling the effects of that right now. And the effects of living in the past are usually feelings of sadness and sometimes depression and regret and remorse and sadness, right? Like, it's interesting. It's a very interesting timeline for you right now, Sagittarius. What are the recent past influences? What are the recent past influences that are sort of connected to this present timeline? Thank you. Okay, so in the past, when you dared to dream about the future after you sort of initially completed something, I wonder what happened here. This 3 of Wands it's a lovely card of the initial phase of something being completed. And so that makes me wonder if in the past you had, and it's Wands, so that's a very soulful, almost spiritual energy where you've got will and drive and passion behind you to create something in the material world. So how did that go? I'm just going to get a different deck. How did that go? What happened with that 3 of Wands in the past? to influence the Sagittarian timeline here in the future. What happened? Oh, lots of what happened in that? Thank you. Page of Cups. Okay, so it was an emotional time of a very new feeling. So, okay, maybe you took a chance. You took a chance on something, and it got to a place of initial sort of like completion. This was a previous transformation. This is like there was a risk you took, and it really did bring through a big shift in your life that led to the initial completion of something soulful. Now, how did it go? How did the Three of Wands project go? What followed? What followed? Thank you. Oh, a whole bunch of stuff followed. Okay. Didn't heal. So there was something that happened that required you to be in the flow of your emotions. And it's like you didn't take the time you needed, and you may have rushed in and created sort of a dramatic, like it was like you took a risk and it challenged you in a way that required you to like go away and sort of heal from something and understand it further. But instead you reacted. It was like it triggered you because you started to sense that there was envy and competition around you. Okay, that makes sense. As a result, it kind of took you down a bit. Yeah, you felt like, it's like a loop. You're in a loop right now, Sag. It's almost like there's a loop here that happened, and it's like you're starting a new cycle. Okay, so yeah, you're starting a new cycle, and you're being guided to look at it fairly. You got justice sort of ending that timeline here. So it's like whatever happened in the recent past where you took a risk, it brought in a really new dimension of your identity, and it showed you how to be compassionate and to keep your emotions flowing, and yet you were able to be present in the moment. But something happened along that timeline that took you to a place where you felt like, again, it was like some major truth bombs, and that you needed to withdraw, and it's almost like you didn't. Instead of withdrawing, you ran into this sudden change. Yeah, you just went for it instead. Instead of taking time to process whatever that incident was, it was like you ran in like the Knight of Swords, right? Instead of that temperance. It was almost like this lesson was supposed to teach you temperance, patience, emotional flow, trusting, compassion vibes. But instead, because you didn't fully heal from something else that probably looped before this, it's like you're being called to heal again. And because it didn't really fully go last time, you didn't heal last time, whatever happened made you feel more triggered than anything. And then you suddenly decided you had to change tracks. It was like everything had to change. And then there's this Six of Wands card that suggests that you leveled up the 3 to the 6 with this sort of blazing triggered like fire instead of healing. And then it was like after that you started to feel the public eye on you. You started to feel that public eye on you. And you got public recognition, but with public recognition can come drama. And I think that's exactly what happened, because your physical energy became completely sapped after that. You felt like you had to start over, and it was really challenging. Something changed after that second level of success, and you started to feel nostalgic again about the past. Maybe, I'm beginning to think that something happened here in the past that's happening again right now. I feel like there's a loop-de-loop here. Interesting. So what are the upcoming future energies? What are the upcoming future energies? And bearing in mind this is getting kind of specific. So if it doesn't resonate for you, don't force it. So in the upcoming future influences is, again, it's the Wheel of Fortune. This is all very consistent for someone out there. 2020 on the clock, as I said that. But it's challenging you. This shift in your life that happened once before, like it looks like it's looped twice in the past, it's back in the present, and in the future, it's like, just let that wheel turn, right? You resisting the Wheel of Fortune is what's on the bottom here. Yeah, you got to look around, Sag. Who's in your life? The bottom of the deck is the Three of Cups. I got that energy from the storyteller cards that you're starting to look at the collaborations, the partnerships, the unions in your life, and you're questioning whether or not they align with you. I'm not picking up that you're judging people or anything like that. You're not blaming or judging or projecting. It's like you're literally going, do I still have anything in common with the people that I used to now that I have changed so much? And then we see the Emperor in reverse, which also suggests that you're going through a big shift in how you define yourself as an authority figure and how you run your life, right? You're shifting, and these cards are in reverse. So, seeing the World and the Emperor in reverse, it's interesting. It's the World in reverse, the one that freaks me out for you. Not freaks me out, that's a bit strong, but freaks me out in the sense that I don't want you to resist change. I want you to be open and allow for change, because this could change everything. You could stop a loop. You're looping here, Sag. We're looping and looping and looping around something here that needs healing. You need to heal from something, don't you? I'm really feeling that. And again, if this doesn't resonate for you, don't force it. But there is a Sagittarius listening that understands what's going on here. Okay, Sag, what is the inner storyline in your mind right now about all of this? What are you telling yourself? Okay, what are you telling yourself? This is your correspondence, FYI, that we saw. What are you telling yourself? Okay, so you're telling yourself that you want inner celebration. You're telling yourself that you want your, you want your sense of fulfillment and joy to come from within. You want to have an inner sense of contentment and celebration and reward. Right now, that's good. That's your correspondence to the universe. That's excellent. Right now, you're corresponding worthiness. You're corresponding celebration. This is good. Even though top of mind is sort of resisting truth about perceived loss. I think that's the key, is that you see it as loss, and it's your perception. If you see it as loss, it's loss. If you see it as a redirection, it's a redirection. You might not have, there are people around that you might not be jiving with anymore, and that's okay. I had a conversation with someone today about that, and they sounded so upset about the fact that they had, just not been able to connect with a certain person anymore. And I encouraged them to see it as, maybe this is for both of you. It's a good thing. Maybe you both need time to get to a different frequency before you can jive again, right? So this is good in a sense that you are communicating inwardly that you want the celebration to be an inner celebration. Because in the past, when you think about that, that makes sense. Because in the past, when it went public, it didn't go well. Where's that card? Where's the 6? There it is. When things got to a place of public acclamation, things didn't turn out very good. And it's almost like you understand that. And so now you're like, no, my inner sense of celebration, an inner sense of accomplishment, an inner sense of recognition is way more in line with what I want than public. Yeah, good for you. It's like you're honoring yourself regardless of the outer world. So that is a very good step for you. Very good step. Now, how are you appearing in the outer world? What is the manifestation of you as far as people see you? How do people see you? People see you as facing a dilemma and not knowing or feeling bound, right? We saw the bound card in your storyteller cards as well, did we not? Yeah, we did. So your people, that's how people see you. That's not necessarily how you are, but the way people see you, the way that you're coming across, your outer manifestation is that you're feeling like you're at a crossroad and you're sort of like not moving forward. You're standing still, holding two swords, and you have to just pick one. You need to make a choice, and people see that. You do. You have the 7 of Cups at the beginning of your reading here, and now the outer sense of yourself is people see you. They look at you, Sag, and they're like, yeah, they need to make a choice, and it's hard for them. They're having a hard time making a choice. Look at that. Look on the bottom here. 8 of Cups in reverse on the bottom, which suggests that the thing that's making this hard is that the choice you know you need to make is the one that's unfamiliar. And we saw the unfamiliar card come up in your storyteller cards. So it's the unfamiliarity that's challenging you. Hanged Man. Spirit is guiding you here to trust the process. And even if sacrifice has to happen in the form of some relationships that have to go for now, or experiences or self-limiting beliefs, you are being called to trust the process, allow for sacrifice, and accept the new. Accept the new. Don't try and manage the resistance here. Don't resist the Wheel of Fortune, right? Let the Wheel of Fortune turn. It's going to turn. It's going to turn, right? And so if you resist it, it's just going to create obstacles for you because it'll try to push you to wake up, right? So let's see, what is the final outcome here for Sagittarius on this timeline here? What is the final outcome for Sagittarius on this timeline here? Thank you. Page of Swords. So a brand new perspective. Your final outcome of this whole transformation is that you're going to have a new mindset. Your mental clarity is going to get a wipe clean. So you're going to have a brand new perspective on yourself, and maybe about like changing those, if you have any self-limiting beliefs, whatever needed to be healed in the storyteller cards and in this past timeline. Yeah, you're going to have a new mental clarity about it. You're no longer going to see it just through the eyes of the ego. It's almost like you're going to see it through the true self. The true self guides you here. You're going to have a different sense of reason, and you're going to look at the situation differently. So I'm just looking for the Justice card because you got that. There it is. The Justice card, right? You're going to have a brand new way of looking at this. The Justice card is air energy, and so is the Page of Swords. So it's going to be a very new mental perspective about yourself, your life, your choices, the past. Big shifts for you, Sag. Very nice. And look who's on the bottom of the deck to say hi. And don't forget about your intuition, is the High Priestess. So listening to the High Priestess is going to reveal, listening to your intuition, is going to reveal to you the truths behind yourself and the truths behind some of the experiences you've had. We saw that you had the cards of entanglement in your storyline, the storyteller cards, which suggests that, you know, there could be some intuitive truths that you're going to discover about yourself, and it's going to change your mind about yourself. It's almost like the High Priestess here is going to assist. So your intuition and a new mental perspective about things. Something's going to heal for you, Sag. You're going to heal. Oh, look who just flipped over on the other deck as I was moving. It's up to you. It's like Spirit's just reminding me, hey, they have free will, Marie. Don't just tell them they're going to change their mind about it. You have to choose it. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Free will. You got to choose. And this is where you're sitting, right? This is how people see you. We saw that card come up already right here. I love when we get doubles. Okay? And look at that beautiful new moon in the background saying, don't forget about your intuition. Your intuition's going to help you the best here, you know? This is good. This is very good, Sagittarius. Okay, let's get some words of encouragement. I'm feeling drawn to this deck for you. Okay, what are some words of encouragement for Sag? How can we help Sag with this Two of Swords situation? This double Two of Swords. How can we help settle? Thank you. That was fast. Purity. Okay. That's beautiful. Purity suggests that you need to get back to that temperate place where you're looking at everything through a new place. Think about what you do when you purify something, right? You remove all the debris from it. You strip it of the old and it becomes pure again, right? Purity. This is very important for you for healing and happiness. You need some joy here. You don't have to focus on this stuff all the time, right? This choice doesn't have to be top of mind every day. Top of mind doesn't have to be this memory. Top of mind can be happy things. Top of mind can be, I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to enjoy the sunshine. I'm going to do whatever makes me feel creative. You're a Sagittarius. You're very, very creative. So, and temperance is the card of Sagittarius. So the fact that, you know, when I look at this past timeline, it's almost like you were trying to just be yourself. And, it, you know, once everything came out, you got triggered by it. Like it was like the second all of your planning and the project or whatever you were working on, once it reached a level of public recognition, it was like it changed it and you felt differently about it. It made you feel triggered. You didn't heal. This is you. This card represents you, my Sagittarian friends. And so it's very interesting. Yeah, it's almost like getting back to the basics here. Get back to this. Get back to being temperate. You don't have to always be on guard, right? You can also focus on being happy. What makes you happy, Sagittarius? Wow, okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading. If it's resonated with you and you'd like a personal reading, my email's in the description below. And it's always so nice to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, subscribing, and your wonderful comments and likes. Take care, everyone. Hopefully we'll see you again for the mid-June reading. Okay, take care, everyone.